What's up guys, I'll be streaming for a few hours once this video goes live, so go ahead and head over to my Twitch channel and come hang out for a few hours. In today's video, we're going to be going over two of my favorite mods of all time that were both stealth nerfed overnight with patches and were never mentioned in any patch notes ever, which makes me pretty sad. Round 1 of the G Fuel Madness tournament ends tomorrow, and we're looking pretty good to make it to round 2. But let's keep using my code AIR, which is 30% off as long as I'm in the tournament, to make sure we get to round 2 and one step closer to that Greg Shaker Cup. Anyways, let's begin with the video. The first mod that was stealth nerfed this season was Reactive Pulse. If you don't know what Reactive Pulse is, while Chargeable Light, when you take damage while surrounded by combatants, you emit a burst of damaging arc energy, consuming 1 stack of Chargeable Light. And this mod came out in Arrivals, and I made a video titled "This mod turns you into a walking Warmind cell," because literally back in the day, whenever this procced, you would pretty much kill every red bar next to you, almost like a miniature Warmind cell explosion, and it would just consume 1 stack of Chargeable Light. And this was pretty much my go-to Chargeable Light mod since Arrivals, just to use almost in any situation. It just cleared everything near you. But what they did is decrease the amount of damage it does, and it just feels way less consistent now. As you see, it came in one-hit thrall most of the time, which, as I was mentioning before, I mean, this used to one-hit everything next to you. Now it can barely one-hit thrall most of the time. Then anything above a thrall, there's no shot it's getting killed. I mean, they completely nerfed the damage of this mod, and the reason is because people were using it to AFK XP farm in the Thrall Hallway and Shattering Throne, and that led them to nerfing it for one of two reasons. One, because in the data, I'm sure the mod had a lot of kills compared to pretty much any other mod in the game. So if you looked at people using this mod, I'm sure there were like millions and millions more kills with this mod than most other mods in the game because of people AFK farming last season. So they either nerfed it because of the data and how high the usage rate was per kill of this mod, or because they were trying to stop people from AFK XP farming. And if that was the case, they should definitely know better and know that people would find a different way instantly to do it. So all you did was ruin a mod for no reason. And that is exactly what happened. The second this update went live and people figured out that they stealth nerfed Reactive Pulse, they just figured out a different way to do the XP farm. So either way, if it was because of the data, they should know that the data was only that high because of the XP farm. And if they were trying to fix it for the XP farm, they should have known that people just figured out a new way to do it with something else. So either way, they pretty much just ruined this mod for no reason. And the second mod they stealth nerfed was actually in Beyond Light, and I never covered it, Surprise Attack. Pretty much what this one does is whenever you ready or reload a sidearm with stacks of Chargeable Light, you'll get rounds of a damage bonus. And every single time you hit an enemy, it'll consume one of the bullets. And the more stacks you had, the more bullets you would receive. And the way this used to work was it would do double damage for your sidearms and stack with every buff in the game. But now, as you see, when we shoot at the servitor, it will only go up by 35%. So they nerfed the damage of it from 100% down to 35%, which that makes a little bit of sense because sidearms were the only one that had a mod like this. And for it being double damage, that was quite extreme and made sidearms pretty much a lot better than anything else in the game if you're using this mod. To the point where some sidearm builds were doing more DPS and even specials and some heavies. So that part makes perfect sense, but the part that doesn't make sense is they made it so it doesn't stack with buffs now. So if you're using an Empowering Rift, something like Whisper of Hedrons, or even the Battle Harmony exotic chest piece perk, none of those buffs will increase the damage further than the Surprise Attack mod already is. So not only did they nerf the damage increase of the mod, they also made it not stack with other buffs, which makes it even less worthwhile. So it's yet another buff in the game that just doesn't stack with anything else, which is a huge problem Destiny 2 has. Way too many buffs and debuffs for them not being able to stack. So overall, this mod is way worse than it used to be. But this one is kind of understandable because it made sidearms extremely good compared to everything else. But at the same time, I'm just not a huge fan of mods like this not stacking with other buffs because, I mean, you have to go out of your way to make your build around this. And for it to not stack with just something as simple as Empowering Rift or Whisper of Hedrons, I mean, it just makes it not worth your time at all and not worth the 2 or 3 mod slots it'll take to make a build around this. So those are the two mods that have been stealth nerfed so far. And if you guys remember my old builds like the past 2 seasons, I used both of these mods all the time, and now I pretty much just stopped using them entirely. So hopefully whenever they nerf a bunch of the Warmind sub mods, which they'll probably do eventually, hopefully at least they get added to the patch notes so we know what they did, and not just waking up and next thing you know, a mod isn't doing what it used to do. Anyways, that's me for the video. Make sure to use my code AIR. It's going to be 30% off for G Fuel as long as we're in the Madness tournament. And round 1 ends tomorrow night, and round 2 will begin Saturday morning. And it looks like we're going to be making it to round 2. And round 2 will be a little bit harder. We have to make it into the top 16 in terms of total sales. And as long as we pop off and get in the top 16, the rest of the way is not based off sales numbers. So we'll have a real good chance at getting that Greg Shaker Cup. Anyways, the rest of the video will just be some strike gameplay with this build I made with both of these mods that were stealth nerfed. And overall, Surprise Attack still feels pretty usable just for general gameplay if you're using a sidearm. But during this gameplay with this build, I felt like Reactive Pulse didn't do anything, to be honest. Like, it procced a handful of times, and I feel like it actually did nothing. So overall, I'm probably being a little bit dramatic about Surprise Attack, but just as someone who used it in its prime, it just feels way worse. But Reactive Pulse is, I don't know, man, it's just useless now. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.